One of these people. Yeah. So you feel that you've been probably chosen by satellite technology to watch. What kind of work do you do?
I'm a machinist.
Oh, okay. And where do you work?
In a machine shop.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, what kind of machining do you do? Aerospace or truck or, just odd jobs? What kind of work do you do?
It's a junk shop. It's generally odd jobs.
Oh.
Right now I'm running an industrial laser.
Oh, really?
Really?
So you're cutting stuff.
Yes.
Very good. And you've been doing that for a while?
Yeah, I've been doing that for about 16 years.
Oh yeah, so you've been at it for a while. Well, we've had a lot of people that sometimes they target people just so they can put them in pain. I mean, you must have some. I'm serious. That's how this whole Star Orb came about years ago, back in the 70s when I was at the National Health Federation. Several people came up and said to me, there's a truck outside and it's got an antenna on it like a little satellite dish and it's aimed at us, and then the next thing you hear is the truck's there, but the people that were in the truck have moved into an apartment next to us, and our energy levels are low. Well, the first time I heard that was in Chicago, in Rosemont, doing a show back there in 1974 or 5, I think it was. And those are older people. I really shined them on. It's like, yeah, they're just a little senile. Then I got down to Miami, and 2 or 3 people told me the same thing, and started traveling around the country for a year, and I got that same input from so many people. I realized these people don't know each other. There must be something to it, and that's when we developed that Star Orb. So it's pretty effective.
I'm wondering how well it takes damage. They're bound to damage it.
Huh? Well, you can't damage it unless you bend it. You can't damage it with radiation. It eats radiation up like candy. So you don't really have to work.
Well, they come in, they destroy everything.
Well, how is that?
I don't know. They come into my house when I'm not here, and when I come home, there's things that are broken, just little things.
Did you ever think about putting a camera in there to videotape the damn thing?
Yeah, when we tried it, the power has a tendency to go out.
And what happens?
The power goes out, and there's no camera running during the time they're in here, and then the power's back on when I come back. It's not running because it didn't reboot.
Oh, really? Interesting. So it sounds like you need a battery-powered, tiny camera, one that's hidden.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something maybe that will set off an alarm when the power goes off.
Well, yeah, there's these little cameras. I was looking at them on Harrington and some of these places. Maybe even Sharper Image has it on their website. But they have these little pocket cameras that have a very high resolution that you can buy. It's like a ballpoint pen. It looks like a ballpoint pen. It's got a CCD in it. It's got a resolution of, I think, 640 by 720, which is pretty darn good. It'll run 2 hours. I mean, you're gone all day though, right? 8 hours?
Yeah, yeah.
So you might have to rig up a battery for it to run it a little bit longer. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It probably runs on little tiny batteries. Those little, but you hook it up. I'd hook something like that up and record. Get a little recorder. It runs on batteries. Those are cheap, and hook it up in a strategic place and videotape them and then send it to me, and then we'll have some fun with it.
I tried to catch him.
And what happened?
I haven't caught him yet.
Do they break? They pick? What do you think about that, Steve? What do you get on that?
I think that maybe he should be home and pick it up by himself behind the door if he wants to catch him. He should be in a closet somewhere along the way, waiting for somebody to be there. They still not seem to know where I am.
Yeah, they probably have him wired. You haven't had the flu shots or anything, right?
No.
Yeah, you want to avoid that. Have you had your apartment scanned for bugs? There's
service. Not this one. No, but I have in the past had other ones scanned for bugs.
And what did you find?
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, you might try this one. But then realize that with the new
Every
technology,
night, you know,
huh?
they do me every night. For example, last night the top of my right hand got burned while I was sitting at my computer. I have no idea how. In the morning when I woke up, there's 2 little holes in my ring finger.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do this stuff, really.
Well, there's a lot of technologies that can do a lot of things, but are you in an apartment or are you in a house?
This is actually a duplex. It was not a duplex, it's a quad. It used to be a house, now it's 2 up and 2 down.
Oh, okay. You know your neighbors?
No, they move in and out constantly.
Yeah, so when you have a situation like that, some of these people that moved in could be the ones that are coming in to visit you, and obviously they know if you're home or not because they live in the next unit.
Totally. They have been my neighbors in the past, and at other times they haven't. So.
Yeah. Well, what we do is our systems, as you get acclimated to them, they set up a vibration that people that have evil intentions, it will actually drive them away. They'll go away. And we've been very successful with that. In our place in Laguna Beach, what happens over there, we're on a hill over there. It's a kind of a crowded neighborhood. Now, it wasn't when we moved in, but it is now. And we had more people with negative energies in the last couple of years commit suicide, almost every other house on the block. So that kind of clears them out. It causes people to reverse their energy and take responsibility into their own hands, and then they can't face who they are, and then they opt out, you know. They become alcoholics, or they actually flat out die. And this has happened around our house, next door, across the street, a couple houses across another street. You know, when we're on a T intersection, another guy died. It's amazing how people that don't belong in this energy can't exist in it. So when you put that star orb up in your house, you're going to see some changes in your. You're going to see people probably behave a lot differently in the unit that you live in. And how far is it to the next house? You know, next door neighbor kind of thing.
You know, the discs, you know, the little discs.
Oh yeah, the nuclear disc. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They would really, really help him. What I saw above his house, going to the right side, was a UFO.
Okay.
And I took one of those discs and I put it in his home, and it disappeared. So I think the disc would help him tremendously.
Yeah, and they're not very expensive. It would be a great complement to your star orb. When you hook your star orb up, be sure and hook it to your refrigerator so that it keeps all the contaminants out of your refrigerator. Because if they're using ELF on you, they're going to be poisoning your food. That's a given.
Yeah.
And this will, that's why in my book, do you have the book Rays of Truth, Crystals of Light?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I would add that onto your order. It's a very inexpensive edition. It explains how to hook up the star orb, what it does, but it also explains about the refrigerators and, you know, and then food and how this stuff is affected. Because they could have a ELF generator right next door to you or across the street, because you're probably all on the same field circuit for electricity, and they can run some really bad, what we call death ray energy, right into your electricity in your house, and this will neutralize that. And I've seen this happen before.
Okay, what disc are you talking about?
It's called a nuclear disc. It's like a nuclear receptor without a bridge and a stone in it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a personal item that you carry around with you, and it neutralizes negative energy. It's on our website. Yeah.
But really good for him to pack it around in his pocket. And the next thing to do would be to get a nuclear receptor. That would really help him a lot.
Yeah. Are you new to our stuff or what? Are you brand new?
I am, yeah. I've been led to your page in the past, but the dollar amount has made me pass it by, but I'm far enough along now I can recognize guidance. I've been guided to your page again. Now I'm ordering.
Yeah, that's good. You know, we started the company that way. I had no intention of making pyramids. I had no interest in making pyramids. I had none of this going on when I started Paradigm. But, you know, 35 years later, you know, not you know, shooting from the hip through the whole thing, being an old rocket scientist, it's really